Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome to the stage Mark and Sherry LaRosa.
Thank you, Gary and the Moose Fraternity, for giving Mark and I the opportunity to be here this evening. Tonight, I would like to share with you my story, the story of how my family was led to Mooseheart. It began when my father left us in 1973. My mom instantly became a single mother who was raising 8 children. At that time, my youngest sibling was 2 years old. I was the second to the oldest, so I was responsible for doing a lot of babysitting with the younger children. Meanwhile, Mom worked 2 and sometimes 3 jobs to keep food on the table and a roof over our heads. One of those jobs was being the senior citizen director in Jerome, Idaho. My mom worked with the board of directors, and 4 of its members were local pastors. She was very upset one night at a board meeting because my school had contacted her earlier in the day about, you guessed it, me. I was going to get suspended from school and had threatened to run away. A few of those board members told her that they knew of an organization that could help our family. A few weeks later, a couple from the Twin Falls Moose Lodge sat down with Mom and told her about a place where she could take her family to live. A place where we would receive an education and have the opportunity to participate in sports and would be able to stay together as a family. After that meeting, Mom sat down with me and 2 of my siblings, the 3 oldest of her children, and explained the advantages of going to Mooseheart. My siblings and I agreed that we would give Mooseheart a 6-month chance for the sake of the family. Our stipulation to Mom was that if it did not work out, that we would leave, but our whole family would have to go together. I have a vivid memory of leaving all of our stuff in Idaho when we went. I just knew that it would be there when we came back. In August of 1976, we boarded a plane to Chicago. The first place we went when we got to Mooseheart was called reception. We were given new clothes, checked out at the health center, before being separated into our halls. It was the strangest thing to be living in a dorm setting with girls my own age, yet my family all still lived there with me. After those promised 6 months, Mom sat us down and we unanimously agreed that we would have a better life if we stayed. We had made good friends and had started school. Life was good again, and we were all adjusting. In just 4 short years, it was 1980, and I was walking across the stage to graduate. Today, I remain sure that graduation is something I would not have achieved if it had not been for Mooseheart. That is why I stand here tonight, very grateful to all of you, the men and women of the Moose, for everything you have done and continue to do to make these moments possible for children. As an adult, I better realize all of the hard work and the tireless effort of our lodges and members. The Moose are still working hard to provide a place that many will continue to be able to call home. Thank you.
Is anybody else warm? Excuse me. Thank you, honey, and thank you, Gary, for that wonderful introduction. I'm Mark LaRosa, Mooseheart Class of 1980 graduate. I personally welcome each and every one of you to the opening of the 2015 Moose International Convention. What a wonderful venue this is, don't you agree? I would like to start out by saying thank you so very much to each and every one of you. Thank you for what you've done in the past for Sherry and I when we were students at Mooseheart. Thank you on the behalf of the current students of Mooseheart and the hundreds that have graduated since 1980. Your emotional support and financial contributions to Mooseheart mean so much to so many. Thousands of young people have benefited and are blessed because of loving folks like you. If it's been a while or if you've never visited Mooseheart, please make the time and do it. Your outlook will be affected in amazing ways to see what your Moose membership truly and actually means. Thank you for that. The first time I saw Mooseheart, it was 1973, a couple years ago. I was alone, no siblings, and no other family members. I was just an 11-year-old boy from Chicago, Illinois, alone and unsure. My parents were 40 years old when I was born, and unfortunately they were divorced when I was 10 months old. Initially, my two brothers and my sister, who were several years older than me, were in the custody of my mother. I don't really have any memories of my mother. I did not meet her until I was 17 years old, and then I only saw her once. Shortly after the divorce, the court determined that my mother was not emotionally or mentally stable enough to raise her children, let alone a 10-month-old baby, me. They gave full custody of us kids to my father. Through my early years, I attended an orphanage and a military school in Chicago, Illinois. There were many years that I lived with my grandparents, Joe and Rose LaRosa. God bless them, rest in peace. They were my most favorite relatives, and I still miss them to this very day. I'm glad my father realized, as I was approaching 11 years old, that something had to be done for me to have a better chance at a better life. It was then decided, that Mooseheart would finish raising me. I am truly blessed that this was the determined path for my young life. My sponsoring Moose Lodge was Portage Park, Illinois, Chicago, Illinois, 220. Unfortunately, the lodge had closed down many years ago. I have heard rumblings about decreasing membership in the Loyal Order of Moose and the Women of the Moose. And we've heard it earlier from Mr. Scott Hart. I must say, folks, it truly breaks my heart. Truly breaks my heart. The need for financial support from the lodges will never diminish. Please look at the person to your left and to your right. You all know somebody who would be a great addition to the Moose fraternity family. Please educate these folks on the wonders of the Moose and the beautiful place that we all call home, Mooseheart. The kids of today's Mooseheart are counting on us, folks. Please let's work on increasing the Moose International membership. Sherry and I met when she arrived at Mooseheart in early 1976. We were both freshmen in high school. Remember that? Excuse me, off script, excuse me. We never dated, that's when our lifelong friendship was born. We never dated or called each other boyfriend or girlfriend. We just called each other friend. We shared the graduation stage in June of 1980. This year will be our 35th homecoming since we graduated. We lived separate lives after we left Mooseheart, though we would always see each other at the annual homecoming weekend in October. Several years ago, I was going through a status change, And I think that Sherry was unfortunately the last person I informed. To this day, I'm not sure why I waited so long to tell her. Sherry had lost her spouse years before that, and I'll never forget how Sherry took that day off to attend my final court appearance. As she has done so many times for so many people, she was there for me. I like to refer to Sherry as everyone's rock. She's too humble to accept that tagline, of course, which is one of the many, many attributes I absolutely love about her. We joked that day, that final day at court, that someday, we would get together in 5 years if we did not find each other so we would not grow old alone. Well, it didn't take 5 years, folks. It didn't even take 5 months. I don't know what happened, but we started dating and we fell madly, madly in love. What a nice feeling. I had always heard of this. So many people say that, and now I know how it feels to fall in love with your best friend. Never could say that before. Sherry and I were married on September 8th, 2012, in front of many Mooseheart graduates and other family members at our home in rural Northwest Illinois. It's absolutely been a lovely love story for her and I. In the summer of 2013, Sherry and I attended the centennial celebration at Mooseheart. What a lovely day. Something happened to me that day, to both of us actually. We were filled with nostalgia and emotion throughout the ceremonies, and a new fire was born in both of us. It was time to reconnect and give back to our childhood home, Mooseheart. Shortly after centennial celebration, we joined other Mooseheart alums and decided to revitalize the Mooseheart Alumni Association. Amen. Thank you. It became our mission to rekindle the relationship between Mooseheart grads and the Mooseheart students. We found that this was something that had been missing for so many years. When we were kids, we didn't have it, and we wanted to do something different about that. In early 2014, we were voted in as the new Mooseheart Alumni Board, MAA for short, Mooseheart Alumni Association. Sherry became the president, and I became the VP, the man behind the woman. Always got to have one of those. Just ask Hillary, right? God forbid. Excuse me. Sorry, off script again, off script, I'm so sorry. Other wonderful Mooseheart brothers and sisters filled those positions as secretary, treasurers, and directors. There are a couple of these folks in attendance tonight. Please stand and be recognized. Right up in the front here. Erica, Billy, are you there? Thanks a lot, guys. Welcome to Nashville. Since that day, as alumni, we have been involved in many activities with Mooseheart. The Easter egg hunt, holiday lights, Kohl's Cares, and the annual car show, which is actually coming up on the 11th, next weekend, to name a few. We began a new program recently to interact with the students of today and have built relationships with the current freshman class by hosting what we call, quote-unquote, slice of life for the kids, dinners and activities. We enjoyed spending time with the senior class also by hosting a dinner for them and have directed great efforts in developing alumni events such as homecoming celebration, the alumni picnic, the alumni Christmas party, to name a few. Sherry and I, we truly love every minute we get to spend at Mooseheart and interact with the kids. It's really cool, guys. I gotta tell you, it's wonderful. The friendships we are creating with the students are absolutely wonderful and heartwarming to each of us. To close, I would like to say thank you to all that you have done for Mooseheart and the students. God bless all of you. We appreciate greatly this opportunity to share our story. Be well, be safe, and Sherry and I are truly blessed because of folks like you. Thank you very much.
Well, if anyone knows Mark, I told him one thing during that speech. Stay to the script, because if he gets off the script, we'll be here all night. But no, truly, thank you, Mark.